Hey guys, welcome back to another video and welcome to Hell's Revenge in Moab, Utah. I have been waiting at least 3, probably 4 years to make this video, and I'm finally here with port call on 35s, 4-inch lift, front locker, Dana 44s, ready to do it. What I'm going to try to focus on is showing all of the bypasses. I know a lot of people, a lot of YouTubers come here on 37s or 40s and they're going up the hard lines. But I think one of the things for me, trying to decide, you know, what equipment, how built does my Jeep have to be to come here? I want to see all the bypasses. So I'm going to show you, well, you'll see the Jeep on the easiest route possible, unless I show you the easier route and then show you the harder obstacle that I chose to do. But for the most part, I'm gonna be on bypasses today. So let's get to it. Alright, so we're a little bit more than halfway through the trail right now, and so far I would say a lot more high clearance than four-wheel drive or lockers. Definitely you're going to want four-wheel drive, but as far as lockers, I think any truck with high clearance can make it to where we've made it so far. There's been a lot of ledges, a lot of steep climbs climbs and drops. So definitely tires with good traction. Make sure you air down. I'm running 10 psi today because airing down your tire is going to give you a lot more traction on the slick rock. But so far, I haven't needed my lockers. I used them for one obstacle, as you'll see here. But I think I probably could have made it through without lockers. So we'll keep going down the second half of the trail, and we'll let you know what we find.
I came from the mud, there's dirt on my hands. Strong like a tree, there's roots where I stand. Oh, I've been running from the law. Hope they won't shoot me down soon. They sing on a sleepless night, try to catch me howling at the moon. Up to my chin, won't stop fighting to the very end. Many men try to reach it, many men have failed. Well, if you wanna get to heaven, you gotta raise a little hell. And I've been running from the law. Hope they won't shoot me down.
Alright guys, that is a wrap on Hell's Revenge. The second half definitely had some surprises in store. I told you halfway that it was mostly just high clearance, but the second half not only was more high clearance, but definitely more suspension articulation. So if you're in a truck or something with independent suspension, you're going to need lockers to get over some of that stuff. I used my lockers a few times, but the Jeep was articulating pretty well there and made it through no problems. I did drag my transmission crossmember on one drop, and I have about 20 inches of clearance to the bottom of my transmission crossmember. So just keep that in mind. If you're lower than that, like my last truck, my rock sliders were at about 14 inches from the ground. You're going to be using them a lot more and dragging on bumpers and sliders a lot more. Whereas other than that transmission crossmember one time, I didn't hit a front bumper, a rear bumper, or my rock sliders at all on this trail. So great time, and if you're in Moab, it's a must-do trail for sure. All right, what a trip. So actually about 2 miles before we got to the end of the trail, Top of the World is an out and back trail. And I just let you guys know, it took us a lot longer than expected. The trail was a lot longer than expected because when I saw 10 miles, I was thinking that was like trailhead back to the trailhead was 10 miles. Top of the World is an out and back trail, so it is 10 miles each way, 10 miles in and 10 miles out, and the obstacles were just as difficult as Hell's Revenge. So depending on what app, what rating system you look at, Hell's Revenge and Top of the World are rated about the same, and I see why, because the obstacles are about the same difficulty. But I would definitely say Top of the World was a harder trail, just because it's more than twice as long, and just just the overall number of obstacles. Also, it's worth noting that this optional part of the loop, when you get to the end of Top of the World, had significantly larger drop-off ledges. So if you're on big 35, 37-inch tires and you want to use all of that ground clearance and maybe scrape up your rock sliders a little bit, then go ahead, do the full loop. We did the full loop because we didn't know exactly how difficult it was going to be. And the Jeep on 35s was fine. I did use my rock sliders and hit my rear bumper coming off of a few ledges. So just keep that in mind. Like, my rear bumper is about 20 inches off the ground. So there's ledges that big on this second part of Top of the World loop. If you have a less built rig, less ground clearance, maybe a Tacoma or a Chevy ZR2, I would recommend just going up the right side and coming back down that same side. There was still obstacles, but not as big. It actually, so I wasn't able to get a lot of footage from the second half of Top of the World. We got a thunderstorm half an hour or a couple miles before we got to Top of the World. So we had pretty large hail hitting the Jeep and thunderstorm. Luckily, the thunder died off in time for us to get some of these sweet pictures at Top of the World. So we made it, we did it, we made it back, but it was raining on us the whole way back from that viewpoint, so we weren't able to get much footage from the second half of the trail. Had a great time. That trail took up our whole day, so we weren't able to do fins and things. That'll be for next Moab trip, but that'll be good. That should be just a fun, easier trail than the two we did this time. And yeah, that's all for this video. Hope you liked it. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe, and stay tuned for more Utah content. Catch you next time.